So heroically that we all show respect to him, and we like our kids to know that they have got this culture of struggle, so they can contribute to be part of this community, to this country of our choice, Australia, to be citizens who being Eritrean Australians, proud of their culture and contributing towards multicultural Australia. The challenge, as I mentioned, that we're facing is our new graduates, not all of them getting the opportunity to excel. We believe that, families believe that education is one of the key terms that can help us to have social mobility. But what we're trying is, although they are
traditional owners of the land, Wurundjeri, on which we meet. My dad was the first person in his family to go to university. And when he went to university, he didn't study to become a doctor or a lawyer. He trained to become a social worker to look after the members of his community, and he ended up setting up a lifeline, a phone service for people who were at risk. And my mum was a teacher who sent me to good public schools where I learnt to have a lifelong love of learning, and especially areas like science and maths. And thanks to my mum, who was a teacher, I've gone on to complete an honours degree and a PhD as well at Monash University. And so my family has gone within 2 generations from being from my grandfather, who spent his whole life working in the post office. That was the Bants 2 generations ago, and now we have someone in Federal Parliament who got there as the first elected Greens for this area.
Thank you so much for inviting me into your place and to be able to have this time with you. I too acknowledge the people of this, who are traditional owners of this land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. But most of all, I look at all of you and see wonderful, proud people who have arrived here through struggle, people who are still keeping their spirit and their community alive in so many ways. We all have our battles in life. There are the 4 big issues that are always sitting there about having a home, having our health, having a job, and the other cornerstone is about an education. And you can't beat it. You just can't beat knowledge. You can't beat having the opportunity to apply it. And so here I am looking at the AWNA Awards, thinking a bit about the history and why that's called the AWNA Awards and the struggle that's come through over 50 odd years since all of that started up there in Eritrea. But people are here now in Australia, and you have the great opportunity to look at the world through 2 lenses. The one that you put on when you get up in the morning and say, here I am in Melbourne, Australia, and this is what I'm doing, whether I'm a young person or an older person or whatever. Or there's that other lens that you have, which is your own lens, which is the history and the pathway that has got you here. The people that you know of who are parents or grandparents or whatever, who have lived a different type of life, but on whose shoulders you stand now and look into a new horizon. And it's those people that you give respect to by going to school, by learning, by grasping hold of things and forcing change when you need to do it.
Today about my experiences growing up and successfully completing both secondary and tertiary education. I want to start off by firstly thanking each and every one of you that has come along and shown support for this event today, which has been held by Awate, an organisation that's very close to my heart. It feels as though it was just yesterday I was here in this very centre every Saturday learning how to put my fakat, kasra and dhammas. Though what feels like just a few days ago to me was almost 15 years ago today. And the people I once met every Saturday to learn my alif bat tats with have grown up, some with children of their own, some working for successful and reputable organisations, and some in the same position as me, recently graduated and planning the next chapter of our lives. I want to thank my parents, Ade Saleh and Mariam Hamad, with my mother in particular, for always being the biggest part of my support system. From driving me to Awate every Saturday, taking me to and picking me up from primary and high school Monday to Friday for 13 years straight, supporting me all through my bachelor and now most recently my honours applications. I know I speak on behalf of all students when I say there's no way I could have completed any of my education without the support and guidance of my parents. So today I thank not only my wonderful parents, but all parents who are understanding and patient with their children while they completed or are yet to begin their studies. I was asked if I had any advice that I could give to current and future students. So I thought, what would I say to a younger me? What advice would have helped me during my Year 12 and my first year of uni? And I found myself thinking immediately organisation. Organisation is a vital key. It is important to establish a balance between school, family, friends, and as well as time for yourself. I'd like to share a saying that got me through my toughest times both through BCE and my BA. It's a saying that I'm sure most of you have heard of on the tally or that you've seen on your cereal boxes. You only get out what you put in. It's a saying I stole from the Nutrigrain app. This slogan was used when talking about future Ironmen. I, however, felt it was very applicable to me throughout my studies. I'd like to wrap up my speech by saying to all students, whether you're studying in primary school, high school or uni, no one is asking you to do anything better than your best. And there will be times when it all gets to be too much or when it seems as though you have failed. But remember that many of life's failures occur only when people who do not realise how close they were to success give up. Finally, always remember, for in the mind goes to be your stuff. Verily, with every difficulty, there is relief. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Started at La Trobe in 2005 and started studying commerce and computer science. Kind of realised pretty early on that computer science wasn't my thing, so I dropped that, went into commerce, and then through commerce I realised that I enjoyed economics. So I picked up an economics degree, so actually finished in 2009 with a commerce and economics degree. From there I worked at Visy Industries, the packaging company, as a credit risk analyst. And I did that for about a year and a bit. And now I currently work at NAB, National Australia Bank. I actually have done a variety of roles at NAB, but I started off in the group strategy and finance function. I also did a stint in the group economics department, which was really interesting throughout the European crisis recently. From there, I currently work in the wholesale banking arm of NAB in securitisation, which is where we sort of package up mortgages and sell them out into the market and price derivatives and swaps and things like that. So that's really interesting, and that's currently where I am. I was asked to give some advice to the youngsters here. My advice to you would, especially for those in Year 12, is to definitely just pick something that you enjoy in your career. And once you get some enjoyment out of it, you'll do very well.
I appreciate the invitation that's provided to me, and I will particularly appreciate the hard work by AWNA1-2012. He's working hard for his community here and back home. All right, I have been in the education sector, in the tertiary education sector for almost 14 years. I'm a climate scientist, so I would like to ask first, how many of you believe climate change is happening? Climate change is, and how many of you believe that humans are contributing to climate change? Yes, it's quite a contentious issue. It's quite challenging. As we know, the community is divided on this issue. Some believe climate change is happening and humans are the major contributor. Others say it's just a natural phenomenon. It has been happening in the past, and it's just it's a natural variability in the climate system. My talk actually is not about climate science. I will just talk about 2 points, and that's how to be successful at uni. Not only successful, but how to be a high achiever at uni, and also why you need to be successful at uni. So the first thing is, to be successful, you need to team up with people, with the right people. Many of you have been through the university, through the process, so you know it. But what I mean is, for example, when you come into uni in your first year, you might feel you are alone. You can make friends, but it's not actually. Everyone is in the same boat, so everyone wants to make friendship.